So hi everyone, welcome to the Questions You Don't Think to Ask University Edition panel. We're so glad to have you guys here, and we hope that we'll be able to provide you guys with some insightful information today.
As you may know, COVID-19 has canceled in-person campus tours for our university. This is often a valuable experience for high schoolers to check out university campuses, as well as get the feel of the environment they're interested in and see if it's a good fit for them.
Today we hope to provide you guys with an experience similar to that of a university campus tour. We will try to answer your burning questions related to not only university programs, but also the campus itself. We will also answer little questions regarding little details that you may not think about necessarily, but are just as important to ask.
So without further ado, let's get the introduction part of the panel started.
So a bit about us. Based in the GTA, we are CoreofHealthcare, a student-led association with the mission to encourage youth to explore and challenge Canada's healthcare system, as well as global standards.
This organization was founded by us 3 12th graders passionate about the sciences and healthcare. So my name is Rebecca.
My name is Sidra.
And my name is Anushka.
So let's meet our lovely panelists now.
Okay, so my name's Summer. I go to McGill University, and I'm studying pharmacology, and I'm in my 3rd year.
Hi, my name is Mariah. I go to Queen's University, and I'm in 1st year of health sciences.
Hi, my name is Hari. I go to Western for medical sciences, and I'm in my 2nd year.
Hi, my name is Gazelle, and I go to U Ottawa for biomedical science with a minor in psych, and this is my 2nd year.
Hi everyone, my name is Allie, and I'm currently in my 2nd year of health sciences at Western.
Hi, I'm Sterling. I'm at my 1st year at Trent. I'm studying molecular biology and biochemistry and minoring in psychology.
Hi everyone, my name is Rowan, and I'm currently in my 2nd year of medical school at the University of Toronto.
Hi everyone, my name is Arub. I am in my 2nd year of health studies at the University of Waterloo.
Firstly, before we begin, we'll just do a really quick overview of the schedule for today's panel. So the first half of the panel will start from basically now, 5:45 to 6:20. And in that half, we'll have Summer from McGill, Mariah from Queen's, Hari from Western, and Gazelle from U Ottawa.
So the second half is around at 6:20 to 6:55, and it will include Ali from McMaster, Sterling from Trent, Ruban from University of Toronto, and Arub from Waterloo.
So the way that this panel is going to work is that there will be a few predetermined questions that will be asked in both halves. After those questions have been answered, we will open it up to you guys to ask your own questions in the chat box, which we will be monitoring.
The questions that are asked in the chat in the first half will only be answered in the first half, and vice versa. So if your question is directed towards a specific university or a specific panelist, please ask it in their half. Also, this is a reminder that if you did put questions in the Google form, we've picked and chosen some from the form already. So if yours doesn't come up, we'd ask you to please rewrite your question in the chat.
Mm-hmm. After the 2 halves, we'll have a closing remarks. We hope that you all will stay till the entire duration of the panel. This is out of the respect to all of our panelists. So if you have to leave at any time, that is okay.
So we are planning on recording this panel, and it will be posted on CoreofHealthcare's YouTube shortly after. A few general rules that we would like to follow would include always having your microphone on mute just to avoid audio problems, only using the chat box to ask questions, and of course being polite and mindful of all the panelists.
So now we'll actually begin the first half of the panel. This panel again will include McGill, Queen's, Western, U Ottawa. We'll ask some of the basic questions to start off, and we'll go from there. So after the predetermined questions are asked, again we'll move on to the chat box, so you guys can start putting your questions in the chat after that. Okay.
So let's begin with the questions. The first question is, why did you choose the university that you're in right now?
So I chose McGill because I visited campus when I was in high school, and I really liked the vibes of the school. And also what I heard was there's a lot of research opportunities for undergrads for for us to pursue here. So I thought that was something I was interested in possibly. So I wanted to see what it would be like. And also I grew up in Vancouver, so I wanted to kind of see what else was out there for me. If I did go to UBC, it would have been like I felt like I would have lacked like the opportunity to like leave and see what other schools are. And also McGill has a very like high amount of international students, which is great in terms of meeting people from around the world. So. Yeah.
So kind of collinear to what Summer said, I chose Queen's University just, I love the campus. I love the environment there. I actually live close to the campus. I'm originally from around 40 minutes away, and I love the environment. It's very community-based. The campus is like a medium size, so you don't feel like too lost, but you don't feel like so enclosed. Like it doesn't feel too similar to high school. And I loved like the idea of the program that I had. It's a flipped classroom, so it's not a lecture style program, which is different from a lot of other programs that you might see in terms of applying and research.
Okay, so I chose Western, kind of like what Summer was saying. Like I'm originally from Toronto, and I wanted to like move away a little bit. So I chose Western because London's like a couple hours away, but it's still close enough that I was like able to visit regularly. In terms of actual campus, I did visit as well, and I thought it was very pretty, honestly. But it was also really closely knit, I guess. There's a large sense of community here. Like everyone's like, there's a sense of like, I want to say like patriotism, except to a university, if that's a thing. Everyone's really proud to go here. So I thought that was really neat.
I chose U Ottawa. Oh, sorry, can you guys hear me? Yeah. Okay. I chose U Ottawa mainly because of the program. For me, biomedical science had most of the sciences I was really interested in, but it also gave me room for a lot of electives. I think like 2 whole semesters worth of general electives that I could take with my program, which was really exciting because I was hoping to not only explore the sciences, but also the arts and the humanities. And it's kind of giving me the chance to minor in psych, which I'm really interested in. The program has a co-op option, and because it's a very, very big science program at U Ottawa, there are a lot of specific resources for biomed, and that was one of the main reasons I chose U Ottawa. But I've been really, really happy with the campus life, and I feel like they're very, very inclusive of everyone, which is really nice. For instance, if maybe something happens, there's an issue with transportation, and I don't get to my lecture in time, like I can really easily just ask someone for their notes, and like they won't mind sharing it all, which I found really, really nice.
That's great. So our next question is, what is your favorite and least favorite thing about your campus and program?
So I guess we'll go in the same order to answer questions each time. Okay. My favorite thing, so I'm in pharmacology, and I guess just like a quick note, it's not actually a pharmacy school, so I'm not becoming a pharmacist. That's a program you would do after your undergrad. So I'm mostly studying drug action, so it's more of effective drugs within the body and like research, I guess, in terms of that. My favorite thing about my program would be how there's very specific courses at McGill, like geared towards my major. So a lot of other majors at McGill, like anatomy, or if you take physiology, they're big classes with people taking it from like all different kinds of majors, because physiology is like a pretty broad department, but pharmacology is a pretty tight-knit group of students who we take specific courses that basically only we would take, and they're only for our major as well. Like other people can take it, but it's kind of a requirement for our degree. In terms of least favorite thing, I would say there is a little bit less flexibility in terms of courses that you can take compared to some other majors. So some majors you're allowed to pick courses from almost all science majors to fulfill your degree, but for pharmacology there's a limited amount that you can do. There's still a lot that you can do, but there's just fewer. But I'm really enjoying my degree so far, and also there's the opportunity of pursuing an honors degree in pharmacology, which is doing a honors thesis project in your 4th year, which is research based. So I really like that aspect.
And sorry, the question also included favorite and least favorite thing about campus. So if you wanted to answer that too.
My favorite thing about campus is that it's pretty small, so you're able to walk everywhere. You don't have to spend money on transportation. Like you don't have to bus like anywhere. You're able to walk, and there's I guess this is a good and a bad thing. There's a lot of hills, so in the winter in Montreal it's very cold and icy, but it's a good workout. Like I don't even have to work out because walking on campus is like enough, like literally enough for as a workout every day. But in the winter it can get, I guess, if you don't enjoy walking in the cold, but I think I really like the fact that it's small. Yeah.
I would say my favorite thing about the university and my program is the style and just kind of like the infrastructure of my program. So by being flipped classroom, 80% of it is independent work. So we don't actually have where you would go and you have like a 1.5 hour, 2 hour lecture and then go home and do your readings. You do most of your research and your modules and all of your content for the week by yourself, and then you come to class, and classes are usually only 45 minutes, so even shorter than a high school class. And you work in like smaller teams in terms of smart learning, and you just bounce ideas off each other, debate about things you found, maybe research that conflicts, or anything that you might find that's interesting, or maybe something that you want to argue against. So I really like that because that really encourages kind of like debate and pushing the medical system, right? But I would say one of my least favorite things about the program is kind of like it's a double-edged sword. So a lot of the independent study also causes people to kind of isolate a bit because they do encourage not working in groups until you're in the classroom. And unfortunately, that can take a toll on mental health, especially with COVID now. A lot of people are working alone for 10 hours a day, and that's a big strain. But the campus is beautiful. There are so many parks, and it's right on Lake Ontario, so it's really pretty. And KGH, like Kingston General, is associated with it, so it's really close to Hotel Dieu, Kingston General, Providence Care. It's like a really nice area to be in, but it is freezing cold in the winter, and there are 2 separate parts of campus, so if you have classes on one part and you live on the other part, it's like a 30-minute walk, and that's horrible.
Okay. So my favorite part about campus would be the amount of opportunities there are to get involved. Like there's a really big like clubs presence, and like student council and everything is really involved with like everything. So there's a lot of activities all the time. For example, like orientation week. Even this year, I know, even though I wasn't involved with it, I know it was pretty well organized, even though the fact that like some people were online, some people like they had to do it distance as well, and I think they pulled it off really well. So there's a lot of emphasis on that here, like making that community. One of my least favorite things about campus is that it is pretty big. There's like, it's like the campus itself is really big, and then there's a couple affiliate colleges that are nearby, and sometimes you take courses at those colleges, so you have to go even further. But there is a reduced fee bus pass that's included in your tuition, so that's really great. It's like half the cost of like a regular bus pass, and the buses are usually pretty good. As for my program, I think it is really big, so that's a downside. At least for the first year or second year, there's upward of like 600 people in it, so it can sometimes feel like you're just a number. But in the upper years. So what I'm looking forward to, so what I like about my program is in the upper years you have the chance to specialize in specific modules and work on the thesis with professor in whatever module you choose. And I thought that was cool. So that's what I like.
I think I briefly touched on why I really like my program. So maybe I'll specify more, but in biomed, what I really like is that there are an array of general science courses in the first 2 years. So you explore biology, chemistry, pharmacology, anatomy, physics, if that's what you're into. It's not for me personally. And then in the upper years, you have the option of either further specializing in one of 5 specialties. I think neurology is one of them, neuroscience, biostatistics, there's a research focus, there are a number of specialties, or you can use your electives to maybe gain a minor in anything you choose, or just to explore everything. Like I have friends who are taking courses in business, in psych, soc, in the arts, which is really cool. But my least favorite part of the program is that the first two years are really, really heavy, especially first year. There's 2 labs each semester. They each take up basically like 9 hours of your time every week to do it and to write the report. So it can be kind of heavy first year, but it does get better. That's what most people look forward to. Campus-wise, my favorite thing is the fact that there's always something going on. There's events that are happening all the time. You can get involved in various clubs, or maybe there's like free beaver tail sales happening. There's always something. But my least favorite part is that it is freezing in Ottawa. So cold. But what I learned was that there are like passages that connect the various campus buildings, at least some of them on the main campus. So now you can like walk through the buildings. It's much faster. It's much warmer. So that's what I recommend.
All right, thanks guys. Those are really good answers. I guess the next question that we'd ask you guys is, I guess personally and with what your program entails, I guess, what are your plans for the future?
So in terms of my program, a lot of people either pursue R&D, so research and development in a big pharma, like pharmaceutical company. You can also basically do any kind of industry role there. So being, I guess, a pharmacology graduate opens you up to that aspect as well. So, but personally for me, I hope to apply to med school. I'm sure a lot of us here are interested in that as well. I'm already in my 3rd year, so I'll be applying like this upcoming summer. And as for if that's not like successful, I'm also really interested in doing possibly a master's or a PhD program. I'm already involved in research as an undergrad, so I would probably just continue in the same lab or in this similar kind of field of what research I'm doing, and either stay at McGill or pursue graduate studies at another university. But yeah, I don't think I would be pursuing an industry job, like going into a pharmaceutical company, but you never know what could happen, so.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not entirely sure what I want to do yet. Definitely medical school is on the table as one of my options. Like health sciences is a program that's meant to kind of push you into medical school. You have a lot of like MCAT general preparatory courses available to you. And if not, there's a lot of research opportunity either in your undergrad, like Summer said, or also postgraduate research I was looking into. Affiliated with KGH and like the neuroscience lab there. There's a lot of opportunity there for biochemical research, for neurological research and stuff like that.
Again, I would say like in a program called medical sciences, you would expect that a lot of people will be wanting to go to medical school, especially since the undergrad program is actually affiliated with the medical school at Western. The School of Medicine and Dentistry is associated with the medical science undergrad program. So yeah, that is an option. A lot of people in my program actually tend to write the MCAT the summer after second year, so I'm thinking of doing that as well because a lot of the courses you've taken up till now are like perfect like preparatory courses for that, and you just want to do it while it's all fresh in your head. So yeah, medical school. But I've also been considering doing graduate studies, so like a PhD. But again, like it's a little bit up in the air at the moment still because there's still time and I'm still considering my options.
Similarly to what Hari mentioned, a lot of people in biomed are interested in pursuing medical school, especially because the first 2 years are very good preparation for writing the MCAT. It's something I've been hoping to do as well. But there are also a lot of other options out there with biomed because everyone involved kind of has a passion for science and research mostly. So there are a lot of options into doing research. You can take the extra year to do a co-op in various fields. Some of my friends have taken co-ops in other healthcare aspects other than becoming a physician or doing something in pharmaceuticals. Maybe there's also options of doing patent law or maybe entering pharmacy as a graduate program. So those are all options that are out there.
So another question we have is, can you describe the environment of your university?
Okay, so I think the best way to describe the environment at McGill is work hard, play hard. So I'm not sure if you guys know about the what McGill is known for, but it's very party hard. It's a very party hard school. People really like to party at McGill. The legal drinking age in Quebec is 18, so almost all freshmen entering are already legal. So it's honestly, I think it might be the biggest party school in Canada in terms of drinking. But people here are in terms of academics super driven. So like they will like not sleep for a week and party at night and study and like cram for finals. It's really like I didn't think it was possible, but people really do it. Like there are 3-week-long drinking events in winter semester where you just drink every day and you skip class and it's just like 8 hours. It's very intense. Of course, I'm personally not like super into that because I need my sleep, but so I think there's a really, I guess, if you're into that kind of lifestyle, there's definitely people that you'll find who are also like that, but they're the complete like opposite. People who don't drink at all, like that's totally fine too, and there are a lot of people like that. So I think in terms of environment, you can almost find anyone on like the spectrum of what they want to do. There are people who are really into partying, people who are not at all, and you'll definitely find your group of people. Like there's so many students here who are into different like activities outside of school, and I think it's really no one's like going to judge based on what you do. Everyone is super I wouldn't say everyone, but most people are very open-minded in terms of lifestyle, and especially because we've all done our fair share of embarrassing things in freshman year when we're legally allowed to drink at 18, and the amount of Americans who are not allowed to drink until they're 21. Some pretty interesting things happen. So no one's going to judge like at McGill. So it's a really fun environment. Yeah.
So kind of similar to McGill, unfortunately, Queens has made some headlines about partying and breaking roofs, and St. Patty's Day seems to be a big thing. So Queens does party hard. But there is, again, like Summer said, there's opposite ends of the spectrum at Queens. So it's like there are people who will party hard and make Queens national news, but there's also the people who will also make Queens national news in terms of their work ethic and studying hard and just having really overall great programs that enrich learning and a really great atmosphere that's supportive for everyone's learning. Our TAs and our professors are really close with everyone in their courses, and I can speak for my program specifically. It's only 170 kids, which relative to some other programs is really small. So it's a very community-based program, and we all just kind of it's competitive, but we push each other to do better. And it's not competitive in the manner where you want to backstab someone. It's competitive in the manner of all of us versus the world. Let's all do great together.
Okay. I might have to contest you guys. I thought Western was the biggest party school, but I guess everywhere is just wild, I guess. But yeah, it is very wild, I'd say. Like, when I first came like to O Week, I was like kind of taken aback because I didn't really like get up to that kind of stuff in high school. So it was definitely interesting. Um, and but it was also like there are always going to be people that you can connect with even if you don't necessarily want to do the same things. And like I have friends who like don't drink at all but they still come to parties and they like hang out, and it's totally fine. Like Summer was saying, like it's really great because a lot of people like will just not really judge. You're just kind of like there. But in terms of like the general campus atmosphere, it is pretty like I want to say like elegant, and like because I like the way the buildings look and everything. It looks really pretty. As long as you don't look too closely at sometimes at night. Sometimes people walking around are a little suspicious, but not suspicious like that. It's just like they've had a long night of having fun, so they're walking around being out of their mind a little bit. But otherwise, it's a great place, and generally, obviously now it's a little bit different because we don't see a lot of people on campus. But if that does come back up in the next couple of years, I would assume it would be kind of the same.
I'm a little jealous of you guys. You Ottawa's party scene. I wouldn't describe it as extra wild. I think what I took away from the general vibe of the campus, I guess, is that it's a lot of diversity and a lot of inclusivity, which is not necessarily reflected in the faculty, but more so the students. I'd say the biggest thing for me, the change between high school and university, was that in high school there tended to be a lot more judgment about people's personal choices, whereas in university everyone kind of dressed the way they wanted, had a certain attitude toward their program, and everyone was really, really accepting of that, which was really nice. And everyone was incredibly friendly. When COVID happened, there were a lot of very helpful group chats and tutoring organizations where everyone was kind of helping each other. And there were also a lot of different things happening around the city. For example, a lot of people like to be in the outdoors, so they skated on the Rideau Canal. They went to all of the Gatineau parks. Actually, another thing is Ottawa is bordering Gatineau, which is in Quebec. So Summer mentioned the drinking age in Quebec is 18. So a lot of people from Ottawa bus to Gatineau to go to parties or the club or enjoy the parks while intoxicated. So that's an option that's out there. So I guess the party life has kind of been removed to Gatineau, but there are a lot of things to do around the city. It's very different events for very different people, I'd say.